Hey Disney, so here's the Lightyear movie you wanted. No space adventure, as requested. Just stuck in a boring planet. Thank you Pixar. I hope there's no hard feelings. We just can't have people think we're releasing 2 space adventure movies back to back, you know? Well, your movie isn't even a space adventure movie, you're stuck in a turtle, but okay. Yeah, but a lot of people already think it's a space adventure movie, and I'm a bit too busy to tell them it's not, so this is the safest bet by turning my space adventure movie into not a space adventure movie. Exactly, so that we won't confuse the fans. We don't want them thinking we're releasing the same thing again and again, you know? Like the live action remakes that you guys have been unnecessarily pumping out. Hey! Stop making sense. Trust me, Pixar, this was the best way for both our movies to do well. I mean, who are you going up against? The Minions? Pfft. Who am I going up against? Literally nobody in Thanksgiving. Just sit back, relax, and watch that money flow, baby, because this is going to be the best year of our lives. I may have had a few miscalculations. Oh, you think? Strange World is a Disney animated film that follows a family on a mission to not only save their town from destruction, but to also find the importance of each other and their legacy. Released on November of 2022, Strange World bombed hard on the box office, the main culprit being Disney themselves. This prompted a massive outrage online and generated conspiracies left and right to why this Disney movie didn't do so well. Was it self-sabotage? A marketing blunder? A message to be sent? Multiple theories were speculated online, exposing Disney as their true form, a corrupt organization built against progressiveness. Until some people actually ended up watching it and realized it was just fucking bad. Yeah, so I think I don't like this movie that much. The characters were not interesting, I wasn't really invested in the story, the writing is horrible, and this comedy was just straight up not funny. I was honestly bored all throughout, and now I kinda understand why no one wanted to watch this. What's so bad about this though is this is Disney's second consecutive time releasing a boring ass animated adventure movie. How do you make an adventure movie fucking boring twice? What the fuck is up with that? And you know what makes it even worse? Strange World isn't from an existing IP. One of the rare times Hollywood finally releases something that isn't from an already existing franchise, and they give us this.
Talking about
over the. No,
Oh my god. But to give them the benefit of the doubt, this is a Disney movie we're talking about here, so there must be some redeeming qualities. Well, let's hope to God we find one. I have a lot to say about this movie, so let's just dive right in. Let's take a look on what went wrong and what could have been done to at least make a right. Let's check out Disney's failure of a project, Strange World. We're first introduced to a place called Avalonia, a town stuck in the middle of the mountains. We then get to meet the town's local hero, Jaeger Quaid. And here's something I want to point out. A lot of people shit on the names here, but I personally think it's not that bad. Don't get me wrong, they're still stupid names, but in terms of the overall theme and style of the movie, it kinda makes sense to have these types of names. You can see that they're going for a cheesy 80s comic book adventure style, so the corny ass names doesn't really bother me that much.
Why, it's none other than his bouncing baby boy, Searcher.
Okay, never mind, I take it back. So basically, long story short, the Quaid's whole goal is to find a way to get to the other side of the mountains. But Searcher happens to stumble across a weird power source which can possibly change the lives of everyone back in Avalonia. And so Jaeger is faced with a difficult choice: to continue the mission he spent his entire life on, or put his pride aside and abort the and he's gone. He just walks away. 25 years! You could have tried to meet halfway! Did no one try to stop him?
You can't survive out there alone.
Dad, stop!
Stop, don't come back.
enough. You're my son.
But I'm not you.
Okay, so here's my first problem. The father-son dynamic is nothing new here. It basically follows the same concept. Father wants to do one thing, the son prefers the other. It's basically a Goofy movie all over again. But unlike the Goofy movie, this one's absolute shit. We don't really get to see Searcher's distaste for exploring progress that much. We get to see his reactions during the intro, but other than that, we're pretty much dropped into a boiling situation with no warning. When we first get to meet them, they, out of nowhere, argue about their legacy and what they're gonna have to do for the state of their relationship. Kind of a heavy subject for a first encounter, bro. It's a lot to process in the first minute. Well, anyways, 25 years pass. Seriously though, you let him walk for 25 years! 25 years pass, and turns out Searcher's discovery really was a game changer, as he is now the proud founder and farmer of Pando, the power source.
Call me Searcher.
I can't do that, Mr. Quaid. That would be disrespectful to the father of Pando. If it weren't for what you discovered, there'd be no power or lights or cars.
Oh dear lord. Okay, so here's my second issue, and this one really bothered me. Remember the time in my Encanto video where I admired Disney's approach in giving the exposition in such a half-assed yet clever and fun way? That was clever exposition.
If it weren't for what you discovered, there'd be no power or lights or cars.
Yeah, this one not so much. If you're going to give us half-ass writing, masking it under self-awareness doesn't automatically give it a pass. Unless you cover it up with a clever way to deliver your half-assness, this just comes off as lazy writing. Oh, you don't know how to explain to the audience what Pando is and what it can do in a limited amount of time? Well, fucking find a way! That's the whole point of your job!
Thanks, Rory.
I enjoy our little talks.
I don't. Could you never come back? Thank you. Anyway, Searcher is now 40, and we get to meet the rest of his family. You have his wife, Meridian, his son, Ethan, and their dog, Legend, which is a terrible name for a dog, by the way. I'm sorry if you have a dog named Legend, but that is an awful name to give your pet. Might as well name your dog Bingo. We also get to meet Ethan's friends, but they're not really that important or relevant to the story. But we do get a stuck porn joke awkwardly jammed in there, so there's that.
I remember my first crush.
Why are you still
She had
talking?
braces.
Stop talking.
I did too.
Stop,
and then one
please.
time we got stuck. And it wasn't such a bad thing.
What the fuck? Everything seems to be all peachy until our heroes find out that Pando is dying. So, with the help of the town's mayor, named Callisto, off they go to find the source of Pando and find out what's wrong. Ethan, however, is not invited.
I will not risk your life. Not now. Not ever. Ethan! Ethan!
He's gonna stow away, isn't he?
Hey, Dad.
You brought the dog?
You brought the fucking dog! At what point in your mind did you think it was a good idea to bring a three-legged dog into your expedition? And how did you get on the ship? There was literally only one entrance and a whole ass crew inside. How the fuck did you get in? Before Searcher can send his son back, the ship suddenly gets attacked by some strange creatures from a strange world. Get it? Strange creatures. Strange world. Kill me now. Okay, I'm just going to say something, and I know I'm going to get so much flack over this, but I really don't like the dog. I know, it sounds bad. It's really bad, actually. Like, oh my god, he's the animal sidekick. Why would you hate on the animal sidekick? How dare you? Well, it's cause... You know, hear me out, okay? Like, if you didn't know, Legend's whole character is that he's always giddy and happy. And sure, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's the fact that he's always present in almost every scene. And all his giddiness and playfulness kinda takes away the tension and suspense almost all the time. Fucking have the dog look concerned for once, god damn! In all seriousness though, Legend doesn't really have a purpose the entire movie. There was this one scene involving opening a door where he could have had a good reason to be along for the journey, but fucking Splat could have done that, and he does. No comment. Well, anyways, back to the movie. They manage to escape from the monsters, but Searcher gets split up from the crew. Before he could become Monster Mash, however, luckily his dad is alive and saves them just in time.
You're in the presence of the one, the only Jaeger.
Dad?
Dad?
I know you're worried about your dad, but I've seen him out in the field firsthand. He knows how to survive.
Motherfucker, the last time you saw him, he was 15 and he barely could have stayed alive back then.
Why don't you go hang out in the cockpit while I help them with repairs?
He's gonna go out on his own, isn't he? And there he goes!
I don't know where he is.
What? You fucking suck! Here we meet another lovable sidekick named Splat. Surely a character written to be a major plot device and not a shameless and pathetic attempt at merchandising.
So worried.
Sorry.
Oh, what is that? It's so cute. I want to merchandise it.
Ah, fuck you. Eventually, after a few hurdles, everyone does manage to reunite and off they go to save Pando once again. So, the majority of the movie is the ride to the heart of Pando, and give the movie credit, they do use the downtimes as an opportunity to flesh out some of its characters. Though they did some in a dumb way, but the attempt is still there. They try to give Searcher and Jaeger's relationship more substance. Ethan gets a few moments to shine. There's Meridian. And sure, Callisto. This Overwatch-looking character. I don't fucking know. You get my point.
The objective isn't to kill or destroy monsters. You're just supposed to build a working civilization utilizing the environment around you.
Damn. That sounds like a terrible card game.
Monster, no Pando.
And no bad guys? What kind of game has no bad guys?
That's just poor storytelling.
Shut the fuck up. Fuck you. Fuck you. Who wrote that? Who wrote that? Was it you? Fuck you. Well, anyways, the crew finally reached the heart and realized that turns out they were roaming inside a giant turtle this entire time.
That's what Splat was trying to tell me. This place is alive. It's a living thing.
Ew. If this was a living thing all along, does that mean you guys flew into its ass? Yep, so apparently Pando was an infection and is killing the creature. That leaves Searcher to face the difficult truth that his whole legacy is about to crumble, as the only way to save the creature is to destroy the very thing that keeps Avalonia standing and thriving throughout. And they destroy Pando with no hesitation. You don't want to take a deep breath and internalize your situation here? No? Okay. Oh, they also do this twist villain thing that's not really a twist villain thing with Callisto. The whole shtick lasts like a minute, so it doesn't really matter. In fact, Callisto is such a non-threat that Meridian was so nonchalant with their fight scene, it completely wiped out all tension left in the climax.
Let go of those controls.
Okay.
Grab the controls.
Put him on. Take him off. Put him on. Take him off. Make up your mind.
Oh my god, shut the fuck up and stop being so boring, movie! They do manage to break a layer of Pando and the immune system dig in to save it, only for seconds later to see that the creature ran out of time and actually died.
We were too late.
Motherfucker, too late? There was a timer? You never indicated you were running out of time. That's why I wasn't too worried about the entire fucking climax. Do you care what's happening? Nope, never did, never will. Nah, but with some Disney bullshit, the creature is alive! In fact, the whole crew even got an opportunity for a meet and greet. Ah, so majestic. Never mind the horrible visual of our pilot getting murdered by its immune system, let's just admire its eye. And who the fuck are you guys? Where were you the entire trip? Anyways, the crew safely returned to Avalonia unscathed. Time jumped to a year later, and apparently the loss of Pando wasn't all that devastating, I guess. Like, literally, no fallout from the loss of their main power source. Like, everyone's just chill about it. Which is pretty much the most unrealistic thing I've seen the entire movie. Like, have you seen the people overreact to losing toilet paper? Damn, 25 cents. I got ripped off. Don't get me wrong, I love the concept. Yeah, sure, stories like these have been done countless of times, but the idea of sending a message to save the environment through the thought of turning Earth into one literal being is pretty cool. The idea is there and clearly the story has been thought out, it's just the execution that falls flat. Maybe instead of keeping the giant turtle a secret, they could have just flat out marketed that as the main hook and leaned to it a bit more. In that way, Disney and the cast can promote it way more without giving away the twist because you don't really need a twist. Because the fact is, nobody knew anything about this movie. And if a lot of people don't know anything about a movie, most likely people won't go and watch that said movie, let alone drag your ass into a cinema. It sucks though, because it's misses like these that hurt the animation industry, because not only is Strange World an original story, but it's also released theatrically and it bombed. Meanwhile, you have movies like Luca and Turning Red shoved directly into Disney Plus, while movies like this and Lightyear get to be canned and shit on the big screen. It's embarrassing. Thank fuck Puss in Boots and Spider-Verse are there to represent, because yikes Disney, snap out of it. Yeah, sure, maybe it was the marketing, maybe it was the casting, you can drag in the other issues and controversies, but in the end of the day, the movie is still pretty bad, which is all you need to know. The characters are forgettable, I didn't laugh in any of the jokes, and the writing is just beyond lazy. The pacing and tone felt off, and don't get me started on the editing. Visually it looks good, but not really that impressive. The father-son dynamic between Yeager and Searcher is pretty interesting in some points, and characters like Ethan and Splat do try their best to keep the movie afloat. But overall, Strange World isn't really a good time. Maybe it's the type of movie you play in the background during a kid's party, but I doubt any kid would prefer to watch this over movies like Encanto or Incredibles. If you're gonna want your kid to watch an animated movie about saving the environment, WALL-E's right there. So with that, yeah, Strange World isn't great. I was disinterested for most of my viewing and didn't really care about the stakes at all, which is why I'm giving it a 2 out of 10. That's today's video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day and a great life, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!